So before going to the Gauss law applications, once when we recollect the points one more time, because it is very important concept. So from the board point of view as well as for objective purposes, from this concept definitely questions will come. So once we recollect the points what we discussed earlier, see Gauss law. See Gauss law, what it states, that is the total flux emanating from a closed surface is nothing but 1 by epsilon naught times the net charge enclosed by that closed surface. So Gauss law states that mathematical form of Gauss law is flux. So net flux where closed surface is phi is equal to. So this is, we can write flux means we can write integral E bar dot ds bar, that is equivalent to 1 by epsilon naught times the net charge enclosed by that surface. So net charge enclosed by the surface. Here flux and what is about the net charge. These terms we can be recollected one more time. Suppose if you have a charge and surrounding this charge we have how much of flux is emanating. If you want to know how much of flux is produced by this, means what we are doing, around this charge we are constructing one imaginary Gaussian surface. Imaginary Gaussian surface which encloses this charge. Then due to this charge, at every point electric field lines are from this Gauss lines normally, and the field intensity remains same at every point. These field lines, if you take a small area of this, to this small area normally how many field lines are passing away? Those field lines, number of field lines passing normally through the surface area is called as the electric flux. Suppose this case how we are taking this totally, this sphere, whatever the Gaussian sphere you assume, that's Gaussian sphere radius is R. Then this spherical surface area is what? Area of the spherical surface total area is 4 pi r square. Okay. Now, how we will take this flux in the sense? The electric field intensity at a distance r, this is electric field intensity direction is always normal to the surface. So, electric field intensity E vector. And here if you assume a small area, this small area element is ds. And we discussed previously, area you studied in first year, it is like a scalar you studied there, but here the area is nothing but the vector whose direction is normal to the surface. So area vector ds is a vector we can write as a normal to the surface. Then angle between E and ds is theta, here it is equivalent to 0 degrees. So electric flux means phi equal to, actually electric flux is the scalar product of electric field intensity and area vector we are taking, that is Ea cos theta. In vector form, if you want to write in vector form, here phi equal to E bar dot A bar we can write. So this is this formula we can use when the surface is plane and the electric field is uniform. This is we will use it when surface is plane and electric field is uniform. But the surface is curved, like this situation is there. So surface is curved means we'll take the flux not as electric E bar dot A bar, we'll take it as an integral form. So that is we discussed already in previous classes. So in this surface we assume a small area out of this total surface area. Yes, here we assume a small area vector. The small area vector ds bar. Then the electric field due to this small area is, here we are discussing electric flux through this small area is d phi is equals to E bar dot ds bar. But we want to find the electric flux through this entire surface area, means that is we need to be integrated on both sides. If we integrate it on both sides, total electric flux to the surface is total flux if you taken phi integral if you taken integral d phi equal to integral E bar dot ds bar. Then we will write flux phi equal to integral E ds. So this is what electric flux formula that is we discussed here. So if any curve shape is there, the electric flux is integral E bar dot ds bar. And 1 by epsilon naught times the net charge. What is this net charge meaning is, around the charge, you are assuming the Gaussian surface to find the flux. So you are assuming Gaussian surface, that Gaussian surface, what has the charge enclosed? Here this Gaussian surface, whatever we assume, it is enclosed as a charge q. That's why q net here is, here q net is nothing but q net is q only. But if this Gaussian surface encloses n number of charges means, so then we have to take the summation of algebraic summation of all those charges, right? Because the charge is a scalar quantity. Then if any charge is located outside, the flux, net flux through this body is not influenced by the charge present outside. Only we consider the net charge here meaning is only the charge enclosed by the Gaussian surface only. So in this we won't be include the charge which is present outside of the Gaussian surface. That point you have to clearly remember. See, this is the charge enclosed by what? Gaussian surface. So the surface, if the charge is outside of the Gaussian surface, it is not, otherwise the closed surface, it is not the what, that is not, we won't be including this net charge. And as well as when this surface area is there, the surface area is nothing but the Gaussian, this is Gaussian surface area. This is called Gaussian surface area. This charge is the charge enclosed by this Gaussian surface area. So clearly this is already we discussed, just I recollected, that's it. Next, Gaussian surface also we discussed earlier. Just I will tell you, the Gaussian surface is nothing but imaginary surface which is used to what, find the surface integral of the electric field. So it is to evaluate the surface integral of electric field. Okay. So and it is a hypothetical region which encloses that charge. And for example, if you see here in Gauss law, we are writing that if this is a curved surface, we have like this. If this curved surface is there like this, the charges Q1, Q2, Q3 charges are present inside this closed surface, and outside charges are capital Q1, Q2 and Q3. Then this is the closed surface we are having. According to the Gauss law, what is the electric flux? Electric flux emanated by this closed surface if you want it. So that flux is nothing but what? 1 by epsilon naught times the Q net. Q net in the sense, here outside of the closed surface charges are there, inside of the closed surface charges are there. So but flux case, according to Gauss law, the total flux through this closed surface is nothing but only due to the charges present inside it. Therefore, electric flux, so electric flux here through electric flux through the closed surface is, closed surface in this case is phi equal to integral, that is E bar dot ds bar equal to 1 by epsilon naught times the 1 by epsilon naught times the what charges we will take. We won't be consider these charges which is present outside. We will take only the charges which is enclosed by this closed surface, that is Q1 plus Q2 plus Q3. And the flux, total flux produced by these charges will be 0. Why, you can ask that? Because the charges present outside, what will happen is, suppose if you taken here a uniform electric field is there. Here a uniform electric field is taken. Okay. Suppose a closed surface we assume like this. A closed surface we assume it. But this closed surface not encloses any charge. So according to Gauss law, if body does not enclose any charge, any net charge, then what will happen? Net charge does not enclose in the sense, so net charge 0. Net charge 0 means flux phi equal to 0. See, that is actually it is flux 0 or not, we can check it here. See, if you observe, flux of phi equal to 1 by epsilon naught times the q net. If q net 0 means if the surface not encloses any charge, then flux of phi through the body is also be 0. Means the surface, whatever the closed body is there, if it is not encloses any net charge in the sense, for example, if the body is there, if it is having plus 1 coulomb, minus 1 coulomb, even it has charge, but what happens? Net charge 0. Net charge 0 in the sense, flux is also be 0. Like that, if net charge is there, then only it produces the net amount of electric flux through the closed surface. This example I am telling you, if charge is not there, how the electric flux is 0? Example you can see. I took a uniform electric field of intensity is E. And a cylindrical closed surface, I placed in the uniform electric field. Then what will happen? This surface is having here two flat surfaces. So one surface having area vector which is away from it, normal to it. See, unit vector normal. Unit vector normal in the sense that is above or below, because if this surface is there, this is also normal, this is also be normal. But which normal you have to take is the normal which is outside of the body. Okay. Now this is the third surface is there. Now this normal is away from outside of it. Similarly, here also normal which we can draw not inwards, it is outwards of the body. So this is the normal outwards. Now electric field intensity is what towards right hand side. This is first surface, second surface. At first surface electric field intensity towards right hand side E bar, and here first surface electric field intensity it is right hand side and area vector left side. What is the angle between these two? The angle between these two is opposite, so angle is 180 degrees. 180 degrees. But here both are along the same direction. So what is the angle? Theta equal to 0 degrees. Then let here one side flux is anything, another side flux is anything. See, flux at a surface 1, F1 equal to phi 1 equal to, we know electric flux is E bar dot A bar. So E A cos theta. Here what is the angle between E and A? 180. So cos 180. Cos 180 in the sense minus 1. So what you are getting? Minus EA. This is the flux at first flat surface. Next. Second flat surface we taken. So second flat surface phi 2. So phi 2 equal to E bar dot A bar. Then EA. Here what is the angle between the electric field intensity and A bar? Area vector. Both are along the same direction. No? That's why 0. So it is cos 0. Therefore, you will get EA. Then total flux through this closed surface is nothing but phi 1 plus phi 2. You may ask me. So curved surface is there, no? Through this what will happen? So this curved surface if you taken, you take small area of this curved surface. Small area if you taken. Small area if you taken, this is the area vector A bar and this is the electric field intensity or E bar towards right hand side electric field intensity. What is the angle between these two? Angle between these two is 90 degrees. Then flux through the curved surface you will take as a E3. This is these phi 1 and phi 2 through what? Flux through flat surfaces. flat surfaces. So flux through curved surface is flux through curved surface means this surrounding body are taking. So flux through curved surface is, so what will happen to the curved surface? Phi 3 if you are taken, area vector means if you take the curved surface like this normally, so if you are enclosed body, so curved surface is normal to it like this. So if you are taken on cylindrical body like this, if you have taken a curved surface is on the, this is the curved surface. Here electric field intensity radially outwards. This unit vector, this is a small area we are considering. The small area vector also be outwards. So we are keeping like this. So area vector downwards. Here electric field intensity is towards right hand side. So angle between them is how much here? 90 degrees. So you understand clearly. If you place like this, what will happen? Curved surface, electric field intensity same direction. But here we are placing the cylinder like this. If you are placing the cylinder like this, curved surface area is like this, electric field intensity in this direction, then angle is 90 degrees. If angle is 90 degrees between electric field intensity and area vector, then EA cos 90. So cos 90 in the sense flux is 0. So first flat surface minus EA, second flat surface EA, through whole curved surface 0. Then total flux through this body. Total flux through this body will what happen? Total flux through the body is that is phi equal to phi 1 plus phi 2 plus phi 3. Phi 1 minus EA, phi 2 plus EA, and then phi 3 G. Minus EA plus EA cancel. So what will happen? 0. Why we got 0 here? Why we got 0 in the sense? Is it enclosed any charge? So it does not enclose any charge. So because the closed surface is there, if it does not enclose any charge, if it is enclosed charge but net charge means the algebraic summation of total charge, if it is 0, then through the closed surface net flux emanating is 0 only. Okay, so this is the thing you have to understand. Now we will go to the next important concept. You have to be know the knowledge of the what flux idea. Next we will go for the how can you find electric field intensity due to a uniformly charged distributed bodies. Those are examples what we will take. A uniform long infinite thin conductor, infinite plane sheet, as well as infinite length of cylinder, as well as we will discuss the spheres, means having conducting, non-conducting. I will discuss you later what is the meaning of conducting and non-conducting bodies. Before that, first one application we will be discussing. One application if you understand well, then remaining application, the same procedure we will be following. Next, we will go for the first application, that is electric field intensity due to a infinite charged thin conductor or charged wire. Now the first application here, electric field intensity due to what? Infinite charged what? Wire. Thin wire. Thin wire. See, already we have some body, if the charge is distributed linearly, so we will be discuss the linear charge density. If the charge is distributed over the surface of the body, we will discuss the surface charge density. If the charge is distributed throughout the body, then we have volume charge density. Suppose the charge is distributed over the length. This length is very long. If the linear charge density means lambda, it will represent. Lambda is nothing but the charge per unit length. Per length. Suppose this is an infinite, but we won't be considered that infinite. We want it, this much of small dl length of the wire. How much charge it is having, if you want it. So this much dl length of the wire charge is dq if you take, and this dl length of the wire charge dq is nothing but, how can we get is, that is by multiplying the charge density into length. In case of linearly charged distributed body, charge density into length is dl. This is the, in case of linearly charged distributed body. For example, if you take a surface as a spherical body, if charge is provided for it, if a charge is provided for it, so the charge is uniformly distributed over the body. This surface charge density is given sigma. Sigma is a surface charge density, and this is what linear charge density. Here surface charge density. See, already we discussed Coulomb's law is only applicable for point charges. So to find the electric field intensity due to charge distributed bodies, we go for the what? Gauss law. So here going to discuss the Gauss law applications. When we are going to discuss the Gauss law applications, we deal with uniformly charge distributed bodies. So uniformly charge distributed bodies are different kinds. It may be lengthwise charge distributed, otherwise surface-wise charge may be distributed, otherwise throughout the body charge will be distributed. So in all the categories we won't be take the same surface charge density. Lengthwise is there, we will take the linear charge density. If the linearly charge density body is there, any small part of the length charge if you want it, that charge you can determine by multiplying that linear charge density into what length. For what length you want to find the charge, that length you have to be multiplied. Similarly, here if you have taken the surface, the charge is distributed over the surface, and if you want to know a small part, this part of area, how much charge it is encloses, this charge ds if you want it. This ds, how much charge it having if you want it. So what you have to write? Charge q equal to, how you are writing length case, linear charge density into length. In surface, if the charge is equal over the surface of the body, we will be write charge equal to surface charge density into area. Okay. Similarly, the charge is distributed throughout the body like this. The charge is distributed throughout the body. So this is when it is taken place is when the body is non-conducting, insulating body time, the charge is distributed throughout the body. But it is conducting time, the charge resides only over the surface. So this difference, what is conducting, what is non-conducting, will be discussed. Okay. See, in this case, if you take this volume charge density, this volume charge density is rho. Okay. So out of this, you know only a small volume. You know a small volume, how much charge it is having. The small volume, how much charge it is having, if you want to know it, what we did in the previous cases like that, volume charge density into volume of this small part. This volume is dV if you taken. The small part, how much, the small volume dV, how much charge it is having, that charge we can write Q equal to, charge equal to volume charge density into dV. So like this you understand well. Linearly charged conducting case, charge of the body is nothing but its linear charge density into how much length of charge you want it, like the length you have to multiply it. If you want to know the charge, in the case of surface charge distributed body means So surface charge density into what area you want to find, how much area charge is there, that area you want to multiply. Similarly, in volume, means throughout the body charge is distributed. In that small volume, how much charge enclosed and how much charge having. That time you want to find this small volume, how much charge it is having, means charge equal to volume charge density into that volume. Like that we have different kinds of charge distributed bodies. Now in this, first we will go to the application. What is that here? Electric field intensity due to infinite charge thin wire. So thin wire in the sense, very narrow, whose radius almost negligible. So that is the thing we will take it. So first we will go for the application here. So these concepts are very important. You have to be concentrate well, as well as if any doubts are there, directly you can contact with us. So we are available in the college. Now I am taking an infinite length of charge wire like this. Okay. So this is infinite length. The charge is distributed like this over the surface. Now we want to find the electric field intensity, this one, and this linear charge density is lambda. The linear charge density, is lambda. Now procedure. So procedure you have to follow well. Due to this uniformly charged distributed body, where you want to find the electric field intensity, so first you have to be fixed. Now due to this one, I want to find the electric field intensity at a distance r. Here I want to find the electric field intensity distance r. So at this point distance r, I will placing on point P. At this point P, what is the electric field intensity I want to be find out. Then this is the procedure. Step 1, step 2, step 3 will be discussed. First step 1 is where you want to find the electric field. That much distance you have to treat as a radius, and you should enclose this with an imaginary surface. This body should be enclosed with an imaginary surface. That imaginary surface we called already, that name is what? Gaussian surface. So now this radius as a distance, we should be construct what? Imaginary surface. So you want to be enclosed this marker. You want to enclose means what? You want to enclose in the sense what shape it is possible, that is nothing but a cylindrical shape. So that's why here also what kind of shape of Gaussian surface you can consider here is you can construct one imaginary Gaussian surface. So now I am taking that this is as a radius, this is as a radius, and some length, that is our wish, we can take a length L. This has a length here. This length is L. So length is L as well as radius is R. Then we constructed one imaginary Gaussian surface. This is a Gaussian surface. Here if you observe, we have three surfaces. One is this is down on flat surface. Here another one is another flat surface, and this is what? Cylinder curved surface is there. Surrounding one is a curved surface. So how many here surfaces are? Three surfaces were there. So one I will take. This is one curved surface. S1. This is another one, S2 flat surfaces, and this is S3. like that we will take it. Now we'll observe the things here. First, what is the step one we discussed? Step one is you have to be construct one Gaussian surface. So the shape of the Gaussian surface, how can we decide? So the body should enclose. So if a linear means you can enclose it by constructing one cylinder. If it is a point charge, means we can enclose it with sphere. Like that, we can choose the closed surface according to the shape of the conductor. Next, the step 2 is we want to be assume the surfaces. Here, 3 surfaces are there. So one is these are 2 flat and one is curved surface. Now, when we are going to apply the Gauss law for this, using Gauss law only you can solve this electric field intensity. Okay, so using Gauss law is simple way to easily we can determine the electric field intensity due to this kind of bodies. Another way also there, but its characteristic method is quite complicated. Simple method is Gauss law. Using Gauss law, you can find it out easily. Total flux. What Gauss law states? Flux phi equal to integral E bar dot ds bar is equal to 1 by epsilon naught times the net charge. This is mathematical form of Gauss law. See, ds means I told you earlier also, this ds is nothing but Gaussian surface area. And net flux here. Net flux in the sense, flux may pass through curved surfaces as well as the flat surfaces. Means flux through these 2 curved surfaces, flat surfaces as well as flux through curved surface. Total flux this one. That is equal to what? 1 by epsilon naught times the net charge. Now, the flux through flat surfaces, this is the flux through flat surface phi 1. Here I am taking that if charge is there, due to this charge, the electric field is radially outwards. Understand clearly? Electric field lines, already the field lines properties we discussed. The field lines properties, the field lines are normal to the surface of the body. So we discussed it there. So, and it is radially outwards to the surface of the body. So, this is the Gaussian surface is there. No? So, through the Gaussian surface, the electric field lines passes radially outwards in all the directions. Then, here electric field lines are radially outwards like this. So, entirely, so 3-dimensional you can imagine how it is there. Like this. Now, at this point P, if you take a small area, this small area you have taken, this is the surface we assume curve surface is S3, so small area is ds3. In the same manner, here I am assuming the one small area on this first flat surface, that is the ds1, and below another flat surface I am assuming here, this is another flat surface is what? ds2. So electric field intensity is radially outwards. Okay. Then at this surface, first flat surface, the electric field intensity vector and area vector angle is, you observe clearly, this electric field intensity vector in this direction. So this is the area vector, electric field intensity E, and this is ds1 vector. How these two are? 90 degrees. In the same way, you clearly understand here, first flat surface, electric field intensity vector and area vector, they are perpendicular to each other. Similarly, the down flat surface, if you observe it, the electric field vector towards right hand side, area vector towards downwards, ds2. These two vectors are what? Perpendicular to each other. So through flat surfaces, observe the flat surfaces, electric field intensity vector and area vector both are perpendicular to each other. But if you observe on the curved surface, electric field intensity vector radially outwards, means normal to the surface, as well as area vector also normal to the surface, that is electric field intensity ds3 vector both are along the same direction. So theta equal to 0. Now I am calculating the net flux, that is flux through first curved surface, second curved surface, and first flat surface, second flat surface, and through curved surface. So net flux F net equal to curved surface 1, flux through curved surface 1, plus flux through curved surface 2. So flat surface here, flat surface 1, flux through flat surface 2, plus flux through curved surface. Flat surface 1. Flat surface 1 means here. What is the flux in the sense? Integral E bar dot ds bar. So integral. So E bar ds1. What about the angle? 90. So cos 90 means completely it becomes 0 because cos 90 is 0. Plus flat surface 2. Flat surface 2 in the sense same way you can get E ds2. Here also what? Angle is 90. So cos 90 plus curved surface. But curved surface, if you observe it, electric field intensity, area vector along the same direction. So theta is 0 degrees here. So what we can write? Flux integral E bar dot ds1 is E ds3 cos 0 degrees. So this will be 0, this will be 0, this will be E ds3. So what will happen then? Net flux phi net is equals to what you will get? This is 0 plus 0 plus why it is 0 I understood here. So because these two are perpendicular to each other and cos, that's why we have taken as E ds cos 90. Then here what it is, both are along the same direction, so integral E ds3. And you observe one thing, here electric field intensity expression you observe, electric field intensity is nothing but E equal to 1 upon 4 pi epsilon naught Q by R. So Q by R square here it is there. So Q by R square. So for a particular distance, the electric field intensity remains constant. So due to this linearly charged conductor, a distance R, the cylindrical surface is there a distance R. So on this cylindrical surface at every point, electric field intensity remains same while distance same from this conductor. Okay, that's why you understand in the integral electric field intensity is there only. So this electric field intensity is constant. So we can take it outside of the integration. So if you take it outside of the integration, so E into integral ds3. See, ds3 is the area of this small surface area, curved surface area. But integral ds3 in the sense nothing but the total surface area of this curved part. Total surface area of this curved part means what is that? Surface area of the cylinder is nothing but 2 pi r into length of the cylinder. So what shall I write now? Integral ds3 place the area of the curved surface, that is nothing but E into 2 pi r into length. Got it here? So 2 pi r into length, perimeter into length is nothing but area of this curved surface. Now you observe the Gauss law. Here we taken as 1. The left hand side total flux. Total flux, now how much we got it? E into 2 pi r. 2. This is left hand side. Phi net is equals to how much we have? E into 2 pi r. Now what you have to know, another thing is here, Q net is how much? So we are discussing the Gauss law in 3 steps wise. First, you have to take the charged conductor, So based on the charging conductor, where you want to find the electric field, that distance you have to take as a radius. You should be construct one Gaussian surface. Then through Gaussian surface, what is the total flux you have to be calculated. Total flux we calculated. After that, second step is total flux calculated. First step is Gaussian surface you have to be constructed. Second is total flux you have to be find it out through the Gaussian surface. Third one is what is the charge enclosed. What is the charge enclosed by our Gaussian surface? That is the third step you have to find it out. So now we are going to that. What is the charge enclosed by the Gaussian surface? So charge enclosed by Gaussian surface means charge enclosed, that is Q net we can write. We discussed it clearly. It is a linearly charge distributed body. Linearly charge distributed body means we discussed that charge is nothing but surface charge density into means that is here linearly charge means charge density lambda into what length you wanted, that length you have to multiply. Here we no need to consider the entire length of the conductor charge. We wanted the charge of the length. How much? Gaussian surface, how much length is there? That length part only we need the charge. We no need of entire because it is an infinite conductor. That's why here charge in the sense, don't confuse that. Here charge in the sense the Gaussian surface length how much is there? That length how much charge it is enclosed, how much charge it is having. That charge only we need to be find out. That is how can you find? By just simply multiplying its linear charge density into length. Okay. So here Q net is nothing but linear charge density lambda into length of the cylinder. Length of the cylinder we took as a so lambda. This is Q net. Now this is the third step we finished. Then you observe simple thing from 1, 2 and 3. Just you are substituting 1, 2 and 3. Then we will the electric field intensity, we can calculate it. So left hand side, what is left hand side? E into 2 pi RO is equals to right side 1 by epsilon naught times the what is Q net? Q net in the sense the charge enclosed by this Gaussian surface. What is the charge enclosed by Gaussian surface? It's linear charge density because linear conductor, linear charge density into length of the Gaussian surface. So lambda into m. Therefore, what is our intention here? Our intention is electric field intensity we need to be determined. Means we want to get the expression for electric field intensity E. So E equal to, we can write as, here what are the cancelling? We can cancel is L. So both the sides length L is cancelled. Then what do you have expression E equal to lambda by 2 pi epsilon naught R. 2 pi epsilon naught R. This is what electric field intensity due to infinite thin conducting charge Y. So E equal to lambda by 2 pi epsilon naught R. So here electric field intensity depends on distance. The electric field intensity is inversely proportional to R. If we are going away from the conductor, the electric field intensity keep on decreases. Then if you want to draw the line, means variation of electric field intensity with distance due to infinite charge conducting wire, what we have to, how can we draw here is, let us see that if you want to draw the variation of electric field intensity with distance R is, what is the expression we have? E equal to lambda by 2 pi epsilon naught R. Here lambda linear charge density for the conductor it remains constant. 2 pi constant. Epsilon naught, you know, it is the permittivity, it is constant. So E we can write by removing constant. E is inversely proportional to R. So E inversely proportional to R means how they are to a inversely proportional means what is the nature of the graph? Usually to physical quantities are inversely proportional to each other. If you draw the curve between them, the nature of the curve is a rectangular hyperbola. Those things you already studied. So now if you take the electric field intensity on y-axis, and distance r on x-axis. So both are inversely proportional to each other. So the nature of the curve is a rectangular hyperbola. This is the relation of electric field intensity with the distance r. Now we have like this many applications. The remaining applications will be discussed. So hope you are all doing well. So be safe and stay at home and be concentrated on studies. And if any doubts are there, definitely can approach us. Otherwise, directly can contact us, and we will be clarify those. And no need to be worried of any things. If it is confuses you, definitely you can get in touch with us, and we will be clarify that. Definitely we can help in that way. Okay, thank you.